Heyo, it's Dog here, and I'm here to talk about fun comics that you need to read. So most of you who are subscribers, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I like fun. That's all I care about. I just want to read a comic book that's fun. It can be a serious drama, interstellar thriller, it can be a comedy, it can be a murder mystery. As long as it's interesting and I'm enjoying it and just having a good time with it, that's really all I care about. I just want to have fun. I don't want a comic book I don't mind if a comic book makes me think. That's good. I don't mind if a comic book, as a matter of fact, I like it when a comic book will take me places I've never been before, thinking wise. Or new places in an adventure or something. So I like that. But it's hard to say what I don't want in a comic. And for the purposes of this video, let's concentrate on what I do want in a comic. I want something fun. This is not the most fun time in my existence. I will just say, personally, I'm getting along well with my family. So everything's okay there. It's the rest of the world. Not digging the rest of the world. So I need fun in my life, no matter how I can get it. Just something that makes me feel better. And I'm worried that you guys out there are going to pass up these books because you think they're for little kids. And they're not. Look at me. Am I some little kid? No. 50 years ago I was a little kid, but not now. These books are well written, really well illustrated, really fun, and they're not a big lecture, except they want you to have fun and get into it. They're easy to read. They're standalone. You don't have to know anything about the character before, so you can jump right into the books. And I just don't want anybody that's, say you're a 30-year-old guy or girl, and you like Doctor Strange and Captain America and Superman, and you'd think, those books aren't going to be for me. I'm just too old for that. That's where I'm not going to say you're wrong. I am going to say you need to give these a chance before you say that. Because they might not be for you if you give them a chance and start reading them. Now, that said, we're going to start off with the only book in this group that I didn't care for. I want to get it out of the way. I got my notes here. Yeah, I got my notes here. And these are the young adult books from DC. DC can do things well. They're doing TV shows well. They're doing they're doing these well, young adult books. DC is doing well t-shirts. Okay, wait, I'm getting lost here. What else do they do well? They have great characters and their comic books are good. These are really fresh and fun. Now, this book, Lois Lane and the Friendship Challenge, was probably my least favorite of the books. And I'll tell you why. Let's take a look. Let me see if I can. I'm working off of my iPhone for the better quality, so I want to make sure you can see everything and that I can see it, because it's not my laptop like usual. I feel like I can get better quality. The art is great. I think the author's intentions were good. It's all about friendship, and we all from age 4 to 94 need friends. You need to be a good friend to get other friends. You know, there's no lessons in this necessarily. It's a bit of a mystery. And it's about Lois Lane trying to solve a couple of the mysteries. She's sad that a friend of hers is going to summer camp. And I didn't care for the way Lois treated her friends. She's a crappy friend. And she was a crappy friend throughout the whole book. And it took till the end for her to realize it. So it was kind of a slog. Those of you who are super big Lois Lane fans, you'll probably be okay reading this. I felt like it missed the mark by, and this is by the co-creator of Lumberjanes. I feel like she was such a crappy friend throughout the whole thing that I didn't want her to be my friend. So this is a maybe for you. Look at it and think of it. So these are the young adult books from DC. And they come and they say different things on the back, all of them. But these are the ones, the rest of these I'm going to recommend to you 100%. They're inexpensive. They're well made. They are smaller. They're not, you know, oversized hardcover or anything. This one's Zatanna and the House of Secrets. Zatanna, of course, is our favorite backwards spell-speaking magician. This is when she is a little kid. And it is about her. She lives in the House of Secrets with her father, Zatara, the magician. Her mother passed away years ago, and her father goes missing because there is a witch that wants the secrets behind the House of Secrets. And there's a twist in that I don't want to tell you about, because that's pretty much the book. So I won't, I'll just tell you there's a witch who kidnaps Zatara, her father. He's a magician also. She has Pocus, a magic bunny. And the witch kidnaps the father, and Zatanna has to go off into the House of Secrets, which starts changing, to look for her captured father. And she runs into tons of really great, strange and mystical things, lots of cool surprises, lots of things that she wouldn't have expected. Here is the witch, and her son is Clarion the Witch Boy, who has a bit of a crush on Zatanna. Starts out as a little bit of a snip, but then he turns into just a normal kid who has a crush on Zatanna. So this is really, really worth your time. It is fun. It's about, you know, what's friendship, what is love, what's the cost of these things. What does she want to do when she grows up? Does she want to follow in her father's footsteps as a magician? But it's all about the adventures that she has in this wonderfully imagined, really cool house. So, and I'll show you how thick it is. It's not very thick. These are digest size. So it's really cool. I dug it a lot. Now here's one of the best books I've read this year. I've already done a video on it. Excuse me a second. Superman Smashes the Klan. It's one of my best books this year. I'm not kidding. It is one of the best books I've read all year. It was one of my top books of the first half, and it's still one of my top books. It's based on a 1940s radio show featuring Superman and the Klan. I'm not sure what they took out of the serial. I just know that it's based on the radio show. But a Chinese family moves out of Chinatown and into the suburbs of Metropolis. And this is when Superman has just come to the public's attention, and he's holding back his powers because he wants to be accepted too. So the Chinese family moves in, and all they want to do, the father got a big job at the Metropolis Health Department, and the two kids are smart, and the son is particularly really athletic, and the daughter's very smart. And it turns out the clan, the clan, doesn't like the fact that this Chinese family has moved into Metropolis white suburb. So the clan starts hassling them along with other neighborhood bullies. And while this is happening, the kids have to learn to stand up for themselves, but this is what they're dealing with. Clan meetings. You know, racism is running rampant back in the 40s. Racism's running rampant right now too in the 2020s. It's there whether you like it or not. It's and this is an interesting, timely book that at the same time it made me feel good to read it. It made me feel bad that we're still going through the same thing. And Superman is going through changes himself, visitations in dreams of Kryptonians speaking Kryptonian language, clues as to where his fortress might be set up by those Kryptonians. And there we get the clan setting fire to a cross on the Chinese family's lawn. And there's a baseball club run by Jimmy Olsen, where the Chinese son is a really good pitcher, called the Unity Team, something like that. Unity Church, Unity Team. And some of the kids are fine with him and some of the kids are not. And mostly the parents are the ones who pull the strings on these kids. So it's exciting and interesting and extremely well written as you learn about Clark Kent and the Lees, their name of the Lees, how they learn to adapt to their new worlds. Clark, as Superman, is learning as an alien to get used to Earth, and the Lees are trying to get used to their neighborhood. And Superman's holding back his powers, which is pointed out by the younger Lee sister. And her name's Roberta. Oh, she's a teenager. Okay, she must be about 13. So Superman doesn't do a lot of flying or anything. He holds back because he wants to be accepted too. He doesn't want to be seen as the alien. And this shows the growth of Superman and of the other teenagers who initially support racism and come to see the errors of their ways. But this is anything but a lecture. It's not a lecture. It is just an excellent, really well-written book that is extremely fun and really good. It's good for the soul just to know that this is by Gene Luen Yang, who is such a good writer. And it's just good to know that comic books are out there that just tell it like it is without being like a lecture, but being fun and interesting and sucking you into a good story with good characters. And you can't get any better this year so far than Superman Smashes the Klan. I unreservedly highly recommend this. And then we have, whoops, let me change the page on my notes. We have another really good book. This one's very different, Green Lantern Legacy. Now this is about current times, a young Vietnamese boy has a grandmother that passes away. They live above their restaurant. And in the grandma's drawers, like her bedside table, he finds a jade ring, this Vietnamese boy. It turns out the Vietnamese grandmother is a Green Lantern. And John Stewart shows up and says, "The ring has chosen you, young boy named Tai Pham." And it goes on about what it means to be a superhero. Does he have the willpower and the imagination to be a good Green Lantern? So it's a basic Green Lantern story, only told from a completely different perspective in the Vietnamese culture. This book was a blast to read. It had all the mythos of Green Lanterns, the Green Lantern history. Jon Stewart is a great mentor to this young boy, and they solve some scary things, and they have amazing adventures, not only on Earth, but in space. And this is great. This was really an unexpected, fun book that I just dug like heck. Here's one of my other books of the year. This is new. I'm just adding it to it. It's by Mariko Tamaki. It's probably not going to surprise anybody out there that knows me because it's about Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. First of all, art by Steve Pugh, P-U-G-H, is fantastic. Beautiful, with beautiful colors. And it's got like a different kind of palette shade for almost every arc or scene or a couple of pages. I'll show you here in a sec. And Harley Quinn is somebody that, of course, is a runaway. It didn't get along with her folks. She finds sanctuary in Gotham City, where she makes friends with a group of drag queens who live above. Wait, do they live above the noodle shop, or is that Shadow the Batgirl? I think that's Shadow the Shadow the Batgirl. The drag queens have live in this apartment building, and this is some of the art here. So the drag queens live there. I guess she's probably about 15, eccentric 15-year-old. Outspoken, rebellious, and eccentric 15-year-old Harleen Quinzel has $5 to her name when she's sent to live in Gotham City. Harleen has battled a lot of hard situations as a kid, but her fortune turns when Gotham's finest drag queen, Mama, takes her in. And at first it seems like Harleen has finally found a place to grow, with new best friend Ivy at Gotham High. But then Harley's fortune takes another turn when Mama's drag cabaret becomes the next victim in the wave of gentrification that's taking over the neighborhood. Check this art out. Is this not really boss or what? So Ivy, gentrification is taking over the neighborhood, knocking down, all the old buildings, trying to build new fancy high-rises and Starbucks and interesting stores and stuff, and taking away the flavor of the neighborhood. And Harley meets another character that's calling himself Joker, that is more interested in destruction and vandalism as a way of protest than Ivy's way. So Harley has to choose between the two. And she is really funny. These books are a crack up, and this book is a crack up. And Mariko Tamaki, I'm not sure if I realized what a good sense of humor she has, but she is really funny with Harley. Harley is just a wild, crazy teenager who wants to do well for the world, wants to find herself and be true to herself and just see what she's supposed to do in the world, and wants to help others. But she's Harley Quinn, so she gets into some scrapes and gets into some scraps, and it is great. I can't even tell you how much I love this book. I love, love, love this book. And I think you owe it to yourselves to check it out. Now, this shows a little bit of confusing how some of these books can be. This is the DC Inc. line. Some of them say young adults. One of them says something else. Young adults, Inc., young adults. One of them said something completely different. So, totally recommend this. This is money well spent. Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. Shadow of the Batgirl. Now, I did read some with men in them, or boys. I just am not reviewing them in this segment. There are a bunch with guys in them, young Bruce Wayne, things like that. I'm just saving those for the next review. Shadow of the Batgirl. She was, her name's Cassandra Cain. As a teenage assassin, she was raised to be an assassin, and she gets tired of that life and escapes. Doesn't speak at all, really, doesn't speak much English. She escapes into Gotham and finds refuge at a nice lady's restaurant who serves noodles. So she slurps those up, and she's very wary of everybody. You know, you're a teenage assassin, you kind of are a little nervous around people, you don't know who's trying to harm you or what. And she finds a huge library in Gotham City where she can actually live and stay. It's so big she can stay there unnoticed for a while as she gets her bearings. Cassandra wants to learn more about the fabled Batgirl. Here's how big the library is. Batgirl was a famous savior of Gotham, but she hasn't been seen in years. And Cassandra starts reading up on her and wants to know more about her. Her past sometimes comes to haunt her. As she gets discovered, her hiding place eventually gets discovered by her father and his gang of assassins. But first, she meets Barbara Gordon, the librarian, who is in a wheelchair here. And she develops a good relationship with Barbara. She learns how to become a little bit more of a normal kid, normal teenager. And it eventually turns out that, well, let's see, I don't know how much more I want to tell you, except that it's a blast to read. It's a lot of fun. She does a lot of growing up, a lot of ass kicking, a lot of saving this person and that person, and a lot of finally listening to and learning from Barbara Gordon, who plays a really big role in this book, as you might imagine. So, Shadow of the Batgirl, Marika Tamaki. No, Shadow of the Batgirl is by Sarah Kuhn. Breaking Glass was by Marika Tamaki. I dug this book a lot. Here, I think this one's a little more traditional. I'm getting hot. This one's a little more traditional, but it's still really good. This is the DC Ink line. Not sure what that means. This is Mira. And it's, first of all, it's beautifully drawn. Mira and Arthur Curry, Aquaman, are about the most handsome couple you've ever seen. But she's from Zebel. And Zebel is a place near Atlantis where Atlantis rules the Zebellians. And she works for like the Zebellian secret society. She's an assassin. She's sent to the dry world, the overworld, the land world, to assassinate Arthur Curry, the Aquaman. He's just a teenager living with his father on dry land. His mother went back to the sea after having Arthur and is living in Atlantis to defend Atlantis. Mira's mother, as you can see in her in a statue right there, Mira's mother died in one of the wars between Zebel and Atlantis. But the art is really beautiful, and it's all about how she was sent as an assassin, has preconceived notions about what the landlubbers are like, and she falls in love with Arthur Curry and learns that maybe her way and her people's way aren't exactly the right way. So it's this is a little more traditional in the way that the assassin falls in love with a target and changes her mind about her whole life, and Arthur Curry learns about his life and her life and what his destiny is supposed to be. But this is mostly about Mira and her big change in her thought pattern. And it's not taken lightly. The Zebellians are about to go to war with Atlantis over it because she was supposed to kill Arthur Curry. But it has a great ending, solidly, it's not super romantic, but it's a solid little love story that has a nice, reasonable ending, given that she was supposed to kill Arthur and their countries are about to go to war. It's got a very good ending that I liked. I think this was really well written. It was really well drawn, written by Danielle Page and illustrated by Stephen Byrne. This is a book I really, really dug. This was probably in my top 3 or 4. No, I liked them all. This is probably my top 5, I guess. And then the last book is about Barbara Gordon again. This is the last book that I read. I still have a ton more of these because I dig them so much. They're fun to read. Is The Oracle Code. Barbara Gordon is a hacker, and she's on a rooftop hacking with a friend. And, you know, they're on their computer, on their laptops, hacking away. And she accidentally gets shot. There are gunmen on the roofs of Gotham. She accidentally gets shot. Loses feeling from the waist down, is in a wheelchair, and has to go to rehab at Arkham Rehab. So already it's called Arkham Rehab, and look at that. You already know something's up there. So she uses her skills as a hacker and a little bit of detective work because she hears things and sees things and suspects things are going on. There are a lot of other kids there. She makes friends with a lot of the kids. The director there is, of course, you're suspicious of him right from the beginning because it's called Arkham. So the director there, she's suspicious of right away. And it's no surprise. I'll just tell you right now, the director's not a good guy. So how does she solve the mystery that's going on there that's actually very dangerous? There's stuff that's very dangerous going on in this book. How can a wheelchair-bound girl doesn't know her way around with no tools or anything, how does she help reveal the truth and save people? She shows that she's not handicapped, she's handy-capable, of course. She knows what she's doing. She doesn't let that wheelchair stop her a bit, and she uses her brain and her wits and her friends to uncover nasty shenanigans at Arkham Rehabilitation. And I just thought this was really a great mystery that was inventively solved by her. None of the girls in these books take shit at all. They are like questioning authority, kicking ass, and wanting to know why. And I think in this day and age, that is something good for all girls, for all people, but for girls especially, to kick ass, ask how come, and say no, and question authority, and be strong. I am a father, so of course I feel that way because I have a daughter, but we live in a society where women often are muzzled, and I am a firm belief in the strong female protagonist, and these books pay off in spades for that. This was a lot of fun and a really riveting mystery that I enjoyed a lot. So there you go. There are some young adult books that you need to check out if you want to read something really good. Don't dismiss them or you'll miss them. Ha! I just made that up. Okay, so read those books. Come on now, throw Omnidog a bone. I made this half-hour video for you. Go out there and read a couple of them. Alrighty? Please give me a like. Please give me a subscribe. Give me a comment. I'm happy to comment, answer your comments. We can get into a discussion about things. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you for watching.